you have in your life 10 elements in which everything that exists within one or more of these elements, right? So if you get that right, you get everything right. So the first element is the situation and identity. Those are coupled. You have wherever you are, there you are in a situation, right? With an identity. And you understand your identity, you understand your situation, you've come far already, right? So part of the problem today is we don't understand our identity. Consumer isn't an identity. Enjoyment isn't an identity. There's no framework to work from. So you get that right, you're already halfway there. The second thing is when you have an identity and a situation, you'll develop a goal. So you need to make sure your goal is attainable, realistic, but also inspiring. Right? And then once you have that, you'll develop a tactic for how to reach that goal. And there's your mental processes, right? That's how your mind works. Having done that, then the fourth element, so you have a situation, you have a goal, you have a tactic, now you're going to apply it. You have to understand that you're fallible and that the application is never going to be the same as you planned. The moment you start applying, everything changes, right? Because the world is changing constantly in real time. And then once you've applied, you'll get a result. And then it's your job to not become too attached to that result. Because if you do, then you end up in a situation where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't get what you want, you're frustrated because you had all these great plans. If you do get what you want, you still won't be completely fulfilled by it because now that's just your new situation. The loop starts over. And so you become, we see with the consumer culture, people become greedy. Too much is never enough, right? So that's the first 5. That's like your personal processes and get your life on track is to balance these things out. So the second 5 is about your experience of reality. How complete is that, right? So the 6th element is your physical experience of reality, right? Basically your animal life. You have a physical body, it has needs. You have to eat, you have to sleep, you defend yourself, you have sex sometimes, and all of these material consumption and enjoyment things. They have to be there, right? But they can't be the end all be all. So try to control yourself on the physical plane. Then you have the mental plane, which is slightly more expanded because now you're including other people into your life. So now you have profit, cooperation, justice, morals, ethics. So there are relationships, right? It's still ultimately selfish. It's just you're including other people in your selfishness. That's why we're so attached to justice, because that means I can calculate and I can get what I want more than if I'm just against everybody, right? But then that ultimately is also not fulfilling. So beyond that, you have the acceptance of actual reality, right? That there is, regardless of what you and I may agree on, there is an actual reality. And so if you get into weird conspiracy theories, or you have a philosophy that profit is everything, the bottom line is the bottom line, you won't be happy because that's not actual reality. So you have to take a step back and realize that there is an actual reality, right? So that means duty, that means generosity, that means human character, because even on a social level there are absolute truths as to how you function and how things work, right? So that's your 3rd level. 4th level is, even if you get all that right, you still won't be happy, unfortunately, because everything has its time and everything, like the world is changing in real time. So you have to really realize that I'm none of that. I'm the living entity that experiences this reality. I'm not the body, I'm not my mind. All of these things can change. I'm actually beyond that, right? And so when you get all of these things right, you reach that 5th level of consciousness, the 10th stage, which is you're actually able to act out of love. That's not lust, but love. All of these previous ones, on their own, they have that tinge of vanity. But when you balance all these things out, the natural propensity of the living entity of love comes out, which is the concern of the well-being of others rather than yourself. And that, ironically, is how we become completely self-realized and fulfilled. So you have a situation, you have a goal, you have a tactic, then you apply it, then you get a result, right? That's your process. Then you have the world, you have a physical reality, a social or emotional reality, an actual reality, and then the detachment from that. And when you get that right, when you understand that, then you can start acting as a proper human being. And that's the perfection of life.